What if Sun Jian survived and united the south earlier? When he was serving under Yuan Shu, he recovered the imperial seal from Liu Yang and kept it, which raised suspicions about his ambitions. Around the year 191, he was ordered by Yuan Shu to attack Liu Biao, and Sun Jian, as a loyal subordinate, carried out the campaign. He was killed in an ambush by Huangzu's forces near Xiangyang, but if he survived, the trajectory of the three kingdoms could shift significantly. If Sun Jian survives the ambush, his military prowess suggests he could press his advantage and potentially defeat Huangzu. With momentum on his side, Sun Jian might capture Xiangyang, a key strategic city in Jing Province. This would weaken Liu Biao's hold over the region, possibly forcing him to retreat south or negotiate terms. Still being under Yuan Shu's command, Sun Jian would likely claim Jing, or at least northern parts of it, for their faction. His possession of the imperial seal also gives him leverage. He might begin to assert greater independence by using it as a symbol of legitimacy to rally support, distancing himself from Yuan Shu's erratic leadership. With Jing Province as a power base, Sun Jian gains full access to its fertile lands, resources, and population, assets that historically bolstered Liu Biao's neutrality. Unlike Liu Biao's defensive rule, Sun Jian's aggressive and decisive nature suggests he'd use Jing Province as a springboard for expansion. His survival strengthens his reputation, attracting talented officers and soldiers who historically scattered after his death, such as Huang Gai, Cheng Pu, and Han Dang. His eldest son, Sun Ce, would remain under his direct tutelage rather than pledging his service to Yuan Shu. This keeps the Sun family united earlier, potentially delaying or altering Sun Ce's rapid conquests in Wu. Instead, Sun Jian might expand into Yang Province himself, clashing with warlords like Liu Yao or Wang Lang. With Sun Jian alive, Sun Ce remains directly under his father's command. His natural talent and aggression would be tempered by his father's experience, and he would likely be groomed into the primary lieutenant. His youthful energy and martial skill, often leading from the front, would complement Sun Jian's strategic oversight. He could lead the vanguard against Yuan Shu at Shuchun after they break ties with him, or spearhead against local resistances and warlords. He could also replicate his historical Jiangdong success on a different stage, where he would likely excel by using his same signature tactics: small mobile forces, striking hard and fast. Sun Jian's growing power would strain his relationship with Yuan Shu, who historically declared himself emperor in 197. If Sun Jian survives and controls Jing, Yuan might demand the imperial seal or try assert authority over him. Sun Jian, a pragmatic leader with a strong sense of honor, having once refused to serve Dong Zhuo, would likely refuse Yuan Shu as well. This could spark an earlier break, with Sun Jian defeating Yuan Shu or carving out his own domain by the mid-190s. Historically, Cao Cao didn't secure Jing Province until after the Battle of Red Cliffs in 208. If Sun Jian holds it, Cao's southern expansion is stalled. Cao Cao might focus against Yuan Shao earlier, consolidating the north after the Battle of Guandu without any distraction from Jing. However, a strong Sun Jian in Jing becomes a long-term rival, potentially leading to a major showdown before 208. Liu Bei, who historically relied on Jing Province under Liu Biao as a refugee, loses this sanctuary. Without Liu Biao's support in the 200s, Liu Bei might remain a wandering warlord, delaying his alliance with Sun Quan and Zhuge Liang's rise. His eventual claim to Shu might never materialize if Sun Jian's presence disrupts the south. If Sun Jian lives into his 40s or 50s, he could establish a proto-Wu state spanning Jing and parts of Yang, with Sun Ce and Sun Quan as capable heirs. This Wu would be more centralized and militarized than the historical version under Sun Quan. He could dominate southern China by the year 200. His charisma and military skill unify the south faster than his sons, posing a greater threat to Cao Cao's way. The Battle of Red Cliffs might never occur, replaced by an earlier decisive conflict over Jing Province, perhaps around 203 or 205. Sun Jian's survival also ensures a smoother succession. Sun Ce's reckless fate might be avoided under his father's protection and guidance, strengthening the Sun lineage. The three kingdoms might still emerge, but with a more robust Wu under Sun Jian's direct influence. The balance of power tilts southward. If Sun Jian eyes up Xiao Province, Sun Ce could be sent to subdue Shi Zi. His charisma and martial reputation would likely secure a swift victory, adding Xiao's wealth and exotic resources to the Sun's domain. If Sun Ce's governorship was proven effective by now, he could inherit Xiao Province. This would cement his status as a key pillar of the Sun family power. A major showdown between Sun Jian and Cao Cao becomes inevitable in this timeline as their ambitions collide. Let's set the stage for this clash between 203 and 205, when both warlords would have been at the height of their power. Now in his late 40s, Sun Jian would have expanded into Yang Province by defeating Yuan Shu. His state is a prosperous southern power, with a strong navy, veteran troops, and talented officers like Sun Ce, Cheng Pu, Huang Gai, and possibly even Zhou Yu if he joins earlier. Sun Jian holds the imperial seal, bolstering his prestige, and has a reputation as a fearless, decisive leader. Meanwhile, Cao Cao, also in his late 40s, has solidified the north after defeating Yuan Shao at Guandu in 200 and mopping up the remnants by 203. Historically, he turned southward in 208, but Sun Jian's presence forces an earlier confrontation. Cao Cao commands a larger, disciplined army, backed by advisors like Shun Ye, Guo Jia, and generals like Xie Haiyuan and Zhang Liao. His goal is to secure Jing Province as a stepping stone to the south, clashing with Sun Jian's refusal to yield. The showdown likely centres on the Yangtze River and northern Jing Province, with Xiangyang as a key flashpoint. Both leaders have had over a decade to prepare, and the stakes are immense: control of central China and a decisive edge in the Three Kingdoms struggle. Sun Jian's forces have around 50,000 to 80,000 troops, including infantry, cavalry, and a formidable navy. Jing's resources and Sun Jian's recruitment skills support a sizable but smaller force than Cao Cao's, with elite veterans with naval experience like Huang Gai. A strong defensive position and Sun Ce's aggressive leadership as a field commander gives Sun Jian's forces high morale, and possession of the seal might sway neutral factions to his side. Sun Jian would favour a defensive, offensive approach. By using Jing's natural barriers of rivers, hills and fortified cities, he would wear down Cao Cao's larger army, then strike with mobile forces led by Sun Ce. His navy, honed on the Yangtze, could disrupt Cao Cao's supply lines, forcing a reliance on land routes, which would be vulnerable to ambushes and move slower. Cao Cao's forces consist of 100,000 to 150,000 troops, with superior cavalry from the north, siege equipment, and a mix of seasoned and newly conscripted soldiers. Cao Cao has already proven his ability to manage large-scale campaigns. With this massive army, he would lean on Shun Ye's logistical mastery and Zhang Liao's rapid maneuvers to help him command. He would aim for a swift, overwhelming assault onto Xiangyang and break Sun Jian's hold on Jing. The cavalry would outflank defences, and his numbers would lay siege to key strongholds. He would try to force Sun Jian into a decisive field battle where his superior manpower could dominate. He'd also try to exploit any internal dissent in Sun Jian's ranks, but their loyalty makes this tough. Cao Cao marches south from Xuchang in late 203, crossing the Hua River and approaching Jing Province with his full force. In anticipation, Sun Jian fortifies Xiangyang and positions his navy along the Han and Yangtze rivers to block the crossings. Sun Ce sorties out with a mobile strike force to harass Cao's vanguard as it nears Fancheng. Cao Cao, aware of Sun Jian's naval edge, avoids an immediate river assault. He lays siege to Fancheng instead, looking to draw Sun Jian out, but he holds firm, relying on his navy to disrupt Cao's supply boats from the north. Skirmishes erupt, with Sun Ce scoring early victories, perhaps ambushing Xie Haiyuan's cavalry in the hills, killing hundreds. After weeks of stalemate, Cao Cao feints a retreat in early 204, luring Sun Ce's strike force into a trap. Zhang Liao springs the ambush, inflicting heavy losses on the little commander. Sun Ce escapes, bloodied, but alive. This emboldens Cao to press Xiangyang directly, launching a massive assault with siege towers and catapults. Sun Jian counters with fierce tactics, delivered by Huang Gai from atop the walls. Burning oil and flaming arrows repel the first wave. The turning point comes on the Han River, when Cao attempts a night crossing with a makeshift fleet, only to be intercepted by Sun Jian's navy. In a chaotic, moonlit battle, Huang Gai's fire ships ram Cao Cao's flotilla, sinking dozens and drowning thousands of soldiers. The river strategy collapses, which forces Cao Cao to rely on his land siege, stretching his supply lines thin. In summer of 204, Cao Cao's grain supplies run short, so his ranks face desertions. Sun Jian seizes the moment and launches a counterattack led by Sun Ce and Cheng Pu. They hit Cao Cao's weakened flank near Xiangyang, routing it and forcing a full retreat. Sun Jian emerges victorious, cementing his control over Jing and proving his southern state can withstand Cao Cao's might. This battle echoes the Battle of Red Cliffs, but occurs earlier and on Sun Jian's terms with no alliance needed. Sun Jian stands alone as the southern bulwark. Sun Ce's performance in the battle, brave but nearly disastrous, reinforces his reputation as a daring commander, though Sun Jian's steady hand wins the day. This victory elevates Sun Jian's prestige, potentially drawing in neutral allies. This showdown also delays the Three Kingdoms formation, pitting a stronger Wu against Wei in a prolonged stalemate. Cao Cao might try again in a decade, but for now, Sun Jian's triumph at Xiangyang reshapes the balance of power.